Welcome to all new Look Back in Amber. From exclusive interviews to interesting inside insights. Since 2010, we've been the best place to be for all things audio for us, Newport County fans. Coming up for the next 45 minutes, I'm Luke and I've got all the big questions. I'll have the post-match interview with gaffer Graham Coughlin. Plus, I'll be asking, after Thursday night, what's the future of our club look like?
I'm Stephen and I've got the commentary highlights.
Never miss out. Subscribe to the podcast or make sure you listen live at 2 p.m. on a Sunday or at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday after almost all League 2 home matches.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
Newport City Radio.
It began at 1:30 p.m. in the marquee yesterday with the NCL warm-up team. The kids from Malpas United and amazing live music from Tinty and the Bugger Hats. It continued at 3 p.m. in the compete with Stephen and Chris. Hi, Stephen.
Hello there.
First proper Amber of the season. Obviously, we did a bit of a pre-season preview, but the first proper one in the season.
Yeah.
We're having some gremlins in the system.
We are, yeah. It's our first one, you know. It's going to take us a little while to get into form. So, yeah, great to be back. Another season of, the roller coaster ride that is Newport County.
Yeah, obviously, Tinty and the Bugger Hats were our first guest in the warm-up.
Yeah, we went big for our first warm-up back yesterday, didn't we? With Tinty, he knocked it out of the park as usual.
And then they did another gig in the evening.
Oh, no, yeah, the Dodger.
Dodger, yes. And Stephen, how did Doncaster Rovers line up?
Yeah, well, Doncaster made one change from the previous match at Hull City. Richard Wood, who Graham Coughlin used to play with, and also tried to sign over the summer. He came in for Tom Anderson. Doncaster won their last match 2-1 at Hull City in the EFL Cup first round. Doncaster lost their opening match in League 2, a 1-0 defeat against Harrogate. In the last 5 seasons, Doncaster have won 2, drawn 2, lost 1 of their first away games. Their last win was in 2021 against County's previous opponents, Charlton Athletic, and their last defeat was in 21-22 against Graham Coughlin's old side, Sheffield Wednesday. Newport's last win against Doncaster at home was in September 1986, a 3-2 win, and in the last 2 visits, they've won 1-0 and drawn 0-0. Doncaster, that is, not Newport County.
Yeah, Newport County went into this game with a lineup of Nick Townsend in goal, back 4 from Shane McLaughlin, Ryan Delaney, Carl Jameson and Adam Lewis, Scott Bennett, Harry Charsley, Aaron Waldig and Bryn Morris in midfield with Seb Palmer, Holden, Will Evans up top. Now, before we hear Chris Chappell and yourself on commentary, we were there Tuesday night. What did you think of the game?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest, I was a bit fearful going into the game. I think, wasn't really sure what to expect after the good performance, but a defeat against Accrington. Obviously Charlton in League 1 looked a good side, and I think that the first half I thought it was a good performance by Newport County. I think there was Graham Coughlin changed the formation, went with like a 4-2-3-1, which seemed to be working well. Palmer Holden up top and Will Evans and Charsley on the wings. Thought they were looking really good. They were creating chances, but then Charlton got themselves a goal, and I just felt that Newport County were probably unlucky to be going in 1-0 down at half time. So, and then second half, Newport County came out and what a second half performance, scored 3 goals and turned the match on its head, ripped up the form book. And I just thought it was a brilliant second half performance, and it was good to get the win.
Should we hear what happened yesterday afternoon as Newport County took on Doncaster?
Let's.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Rodney Parade for the start of a new league season. After the heroics of midweek, where a second half performance, 3 goals saw them come from behind to beat League 1 Charlton. We are delighted to be back bringing you coverage for the new campaign in League 2. Chris Chappell here with you alongside Stephen Howe, who thoroughly enjoyed himself in that second half on Tuesday.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, great to be here again, Chris. Yeah, I think both sides this afternoon had a bit of a stuttering start to the season with a defeat and then a win during the week in the Cup. So I think they'll both be looking to get their seasons back on track today.
County make it 1-0 early in this game on 6 minutes. Fresh from his goal in midweek, Palmer Holden is at it again, Stephen.
Yeah, 2 goals in 2 games now. It's been a brilliant start by Newport County. They've been on the front foot and they've got their just rewards. What a really good start to this match for Newport.
Plays his midfield, it's picked off by Scott Bennett for Newport, carries it to the edge of the area. Palmer Holden with a chance inside the box, drills it low, and cannot believe that he's put it wide of the post instead of the bottom corner. Well, we've now played 12 minutes, and having scored his first league goal 6 minutes ago, he almost doubled his tally in the opening home match of the season for Newport County, Palmer Holden. And he picks out a run at the far post. Drags onto his left foot and a nice Cruyff turn, and then fires it in, and it drops inside the area for Will Evans. He gets his second of the season as well, having opened his account in midweek against Charlton. Well, it was all made by the trickery of Shane McLaughlin up from the back. Feinted to go with his right foot, dragged it onto his left. Defender went sprawling. It was a rather scuffed effort on goal, but keeper Ian Lawler couldn't hold it. And Will Evans gobbled up the rebound. 2-0.
Well, rain was in the forecast today, and it's raining goals at Rodney Parade at the moment.
Back in from Wildig. It bounced in the box. Evans didn't know it was behind him. It's deflected in. Well, I don't know who that came off, but it doesn't matter because it's Newport County 3, Doncaster Rovers 0. An unbelievable first half, and the Amber Army are absolutely delirious. Disarray, and we'll have to see the video to see which of their backsides it went in off, because I'm pretty sure that was an own goal, Stephen.
Yeah, I think it was an own goal. I think it'll go down as an own goal. But again, it's Newport County putting Doncaster under all sorts of pressure, and it's paying off at the moment. And as you said, everything seems to be falling for them.
Evans turns away on the Newport right wing, and it's taken down the line. Cut back to Evans inside the box. Left foot inside the far post. The ball flicks the upright on its way in. And just 4 minutes into the second half, they've started the second period as they did the first with an early goal. And it's County 4, Doncaster Rovers 0. There's just no let up for this Doncaster defence.
Yeah, well, what a brilliant start again to this. Lovely control on it and a sublime finish, and yeah, just what you needed to get the second half. Didn't want to come out and maybe be lose that momentum. They've kind of kept the momentum going, so brilliant start.
Sotona up against Lewis, a couple of step overs onto his left foot, rolls it to the edge of the area, powered in by Rowe, and it's tipped over by Townsend. It's the first serious save he's had to make all game. He had an easy catch from a Richard Wood header in the first half, and in the 79th minute his fingers are finally stung by an effort from Tommy Rowe. And that is full time. Newport County mark their first home league game of the season with a comprehensive drubbing of Doncaster Rovers, 4-0. And after they ended last season with a very poor home record overall, and their last 3 games here were 2 defeats and a draw, which was only just a draw late on against Crewe on the last day. They want to try and make this place a fortress. Final score, Newport County 4, Doncaster Rovers 0.
Thanks to Stephen and Chris there on commentary duty. Stephen, emphatic, I think, is the only way to describe it.
Oh, yeah, it was, wasn't it? It was, brilliant. I mean, didn't really see it coming, but shall we hear what the manager thought?
Yeah, we know he doesn't like losing, so I'm sure he's really ecstatic. Now, should we hear from Graham Coughlin?
Why not?
Look, it was pleasing. It was a real good all-round performance from start to finish. The game fizzled out in the second half. To be honest, we got I think it was the fourth goal, and it fizzled out. But no exaggeration, we could have come in 5-6 goals in the first half. We were really, really good. So look, let's put it in our back pocket and build on it. We didn't have a nice feeling last Saturday, albeit our performance was okay and we created. But we've got a really good feeling this Saturday, and that's football, I suppose.
You took a lot of confidence clearly from that win over Charlton in midweek. That energy, that press was there again. It got its rewards very early on in the game.
Yeah, I said that to the lads there. I said it to them after Charlton, Cheltenham, Accrington, over the course of pre-season. That is what we're about, and when we come off that and when we don't play with them intense levels, we tend to struggle. But what was really pleasing today was there was a lot of combination play in midfield. The first goal come from us defending a corner. Nick catches it and we break out like the Red Arrows. So there was a lot of work that we have been doing, and to see that transfer from the training ground into the pitch was really pleasing. And it was all around a good solid home performance and a good week. If I take last Saturday out of the equation and just go from Sunday, it was okay. The week was okay.
2 goals for Will Evans, named man of the match, tireless running. He must be very pleased with his performances. Yeah,
look, we've had this with Will since I come in through the front door. Will has been he's been a real force. He's been a real driving force at the club, on the training ground, whether he's left wing back or whether he's up front. Will just needs to add that clinical side to his game. He just needs to add that finish, that goal. And I hope the week would have given him a real boost, a real confidence boost, because let me tell you, those two strikers worked their socks off, Seb and Will Evans, and it's just putting them finishing touches to the moves, and hopefully they'll gain a lot of confidence from what they've done on Tuesday and what they've done tonight. So we just have to watch them. We just have to be careful with them, because fatigue will kick in. They won't be able to do that every game. They won't be able to do that every week. So we'll have to nurture them along and use them when they're fresh.
I was thinking back to Tranmere at the end of that. Last year I was thinking, those defenders better not annoy you by letting one slip. So it's a clean sheet as well, which you'll be.
Yeah, look, we made 1 or 2 little errors last Saturday and we got punished, so that's always in the back of your mind. We made an error on Tuesday night and that's in the back of your mind as well. So look, make no bones about it, at any stage, had Doncaster changed or had Doncaster scored, the flow of the game and the way the game went might have been totally different. So yes, I'm always conscious of allowing the opposition in. I don't like giving cheap goals away, because we don't get cheap goals. We have to work really, really hard for our awards. So yeah, I'm trying to hammer home that clean sheet mentality. I'm trying to hammer home that winning mentality, and hopefully today is a little step in the right direction. But by no means will the players, the coaching staff, or the supporters get carried away with it. We know there's a massive road ahead of us. There's a massive challenge ahead of us, and we'll meet that challenge head on. And fingers crossed we can achieve and we can be successful with that challenge.
Imagine your message is the same as it was after Charlton. It's now Crew next. You want to keep this building.
Yeah, that's all you can do, really. I go back to when I was a player. We come through this division with Argyle, playing with Argyle. I always remember the manager. We didn't have a great August, and I always remember the manager telling us, believing in us, and telling us the performances were important. And the building blocks were important. And I always referred back to Paul Sturrock and when he was managing myself, and I'd go on the phone to him and quite a lot, just to pick his brains. And he said the same to me after the game last week: just concentrate on performances. If performances are there, you can't control anything else. We were unlucky last Saturday, but we were very good on Tuesday and we're very good again today. Now, we can't rest on that. We need to be very good every week, not just this week, every week. And hopefully with the new faces in the changing room, the new dynamic to us, as you can see, we're probably a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more ball orientated this season than we were last season. And we do play some really good football at times, but again, we have to build that, we have to make that grow, and we have to get better at that.
You're encouraged by the way the new boys have we're 3 games in, but they seem to have settled in nicely. Sort of
Look, football. I'm encouraged this week. Yeah. I'll be able to go home and speak to my wife. It was her birthday last weekend, and we went out for a meal, and I didn't speak much to her, so I owe her an apology. And I want to just go home tonight and have a little beer with my missus and to speak to her really this week and have a smile on my face, because I think I maybe ruined her birthday last weekend because obviously. But look, it's the job I'm in. It's a business I'm in. It's a results orientated business. And I am a passionate man. It's very, very difficult to smile and laugh off a defeat and just park a defeat. You always analyse it. But yeah, look, I'm pleased this evening. But I'll wake up in the morning and Crewe will be the next opponent. Crewe will be the next thing on my mind. And I'll probably spend the best part of tomorrow. Don't tell the wife this yet, but I'll probably spend the best part of tomorrow studying Crewe, looking at them and trying to organise something to come up with for ourselves against them on Tuesday. So that's just the life we live as professional coaches, managers.
Towards the end of the game, was receiving a bit of treatment, bandage. What happened there?
A little cut on his ear, and I don't know what was going on. Like I just said to him, he played for me all day long. As soon as he shows blood, claret, because that's right up my street. That's part of our DNA. So he had a little nick on his ear. I don't know what he was whinging about or crying about. He'll get it patched up. He'll go home and get a kiss and a cuddle tonight, and he'll wake up in the morning. There won't be any problems. It was just a little nick. I've got bigger nicks shaven. So listen, he's fine. He's okay. He just probably had to get a bandage to keep his brains in place.
Graham Cochran on top forwards ever.
He's box office, isn't he?
if this is what he's going to be like after Folio wins, keep them coming, Gaffer.
Yep. And happy birthday to Mrs. Cochran last week.
I
hope Graham made it up to you last night by taking you out for something nice to eat and drink.
Yes, I think that is paramount. Happy birthday.
And I hope Bryn Morris is feeling better today after having his cuddles.
That was County Boss Graham Cochran reflected on the 4-0 win against Doncaster yesterday.
Yeah, let's talk about the press conference.
Yeah, let's have a full 45-minute show about the press
nothing
conference.
Nothing happened yesterday afternoon, did it?
No. Stephen, talk to us about the nothing that happened yesterday.
Yeah, where do you start?
Where do you begin?
Well, I think Newport, they came out of the blocks flying, didn't they? On the front foot, finding spaces, first to every ball. The pressure paid off, I think, for the first goal for Palmer Holden, where he was quick onto the ball, outmuscled the defender to score. And yeah, they were playing like through balls to Palmer Holden, which we've not really seen them do before. I think Graham spoke about it there. They're a bit more dynamic now, a bit more ball orientated than what they were previously. They got the second goal from a McLaughlin shot that Will Evans was quickly onto. I thought the midfield were terrific. I thought they were really dominating. Scott Bennett looks a different player this season. He was everywhere in the first half. Wildig as well, causing problems with his passing. Bryn Morris was, for a defensive midfielder, looking quite creative as well. And I think Doncaster were being forced into mistakes and the harrying by the Newport players. I think that was evident for the third goal, where they got a clearance all wrong and it ended up in the back of the net. I think, just everything was falling for Newport County in that first half. Doncaster made changes. They reverted to a back three. Didn't really have that much of an effect. I think they were trying to deny Newport the spaces out wide. Yeah, a couple of chances before half-time maybe to increase the lead. Doncaster's only real chance was a header straight at Nick Townsend. Newport got off to a great start in the second half, got the fourth goal. I think it was important to maintain the dominance that they had and not to get complacent and to drop off. But I mean, playing at that intensity, you're not going to do it for 90 minutes, are you?
No,
I mean, it did kind of fizzle out a little bit in the second half. I thought it was good that he had the chance to bring players like Bondswell, who looked really good again. Payne came on for his debut, Wood for his, Rye came on as well, almost got himself a goal, brought that energy as well towards the closing stages of the game. And overall, I just think it was a phenomenal performance. It was just one of dominance, high energy, and brilliant to keep a clean sheet, which is a great positive. Good to go into the next run of games now, scoring goals, clean sheets, full of confidence. So I thought it was a brilliant afternoon. It couldn't have gone much better, really, could it?
No, and I agree with you. I think that we started where we left off against Charlton. We scored 3 goals in that second half on Tuesday night, and then it was almost like 91 minutes or whatever.
It was, wasn't it? It was almost as if it was like they came off the pitch against Charlton,
went straight on it
and then come back on,
Doncaster.
and yeah, definitely, I agree there.
Yeah, and like you say, I think the pressing, the counter pressing, led definitely to the first goal. With Seb Palmer holding where he got the ball off the defender, kind of out-muscled him.
Yeah.
It was alert to it, which is really pleasing to see. Great strength of forward play.
He didn't stop all afternoon yesterday. He was running everywhere, into the channels, running into spaces, running, challenging the defenders. I think he's got a bit more about him physically than what the youngsters that we had last year had. So I think he's maybe a little bit better suited to League 2 for us.
Yeah, and it's funny to say because Omar Bogle scored 19 goals for us last season, but where does he fit in? Yeah,
that's a really good question. I think I was talking to it in the car going home with Chris last night, and I was saying, where do you play Omar Bogle when he's fit and Zanzala? Because I think at the moment, the way we're playing, you've got Palmer, Holden and Evans, who are really like young, high energy. We know what Will Evans is all about. He's going to run all day for you. But even Palmer, Holden, they're starting to find him with those passes as well now. I said before tonight, he's making runs, but we're not quite tuned in. But you can see after 3 games that I've seen anyway, they're starting to get even more tuned in now, especially Will Digg. Scott Bennett played him through as well yesterday, so they're obviously, they're getting to know each other a lot more, and it's amazing how quick it's happened as well.
And with Palmer Holden only being 19 and this being his first full season of EFL football, he's going to get even better, isn't he?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. I think we've got a bit of a star on our hands there. Brilliant recruitment from Graham and the team.
Yeah, and I think we've got it spot on this summer. You look at the players we lost: Mika Dimitriou, Cameron Norman, Aaron Lewis, Priestley Farquharson. But then you look yesterday, I think the new boys at the back, Jameson, Delaney, they look good. Yeah. You've still got James Clark, Declan Drysdale to add into that mix.
I know, yeah. I think we spoke about it, didn't we, on the last show? And I think the recruitment this summer has been phenomenal. I wasn't really sure about the players until I saw them, but I went to that Cheltenham friendly. And I was filled full of hope because I hadn't seen these players, but then I saw them play against Cheltenham and I thought, wow, like you said, Delaney, Jameson at the back. I love Delaney's a leader. Jameson's really good, likes to get forward as well. Yeah, he likes to get forward as well. He's comfortable bringing the ball out of defence, and I think, like I said, we spoke about the building last season, didn't we? His first thing was to get them fit, then make them hard to beat. And we said that eventually he'll get to the creative side of things, and I think that's where we are now. I think in this process that we've had, he's got them fit. He had this pre-season to get them fit. He's worked on the defence. They're tough to beat. And now, like you said, we're more dynamic. We're more ball-orientated. We're not seeing the long balls out to the right back so much. They've had to find a new way of playing, and it's working so far.
That's something I said to you when we were getting ready to do our pre-season predictions and pre-season show, that I feel like last season especially, we were going out to Cameron Norman a lot, and he'd be our only outlet for a bit of creativity.
And it was predictable as well. Yeah.
But now this season, we're going through, one thing I've noticed this season compared to other seasons, we're playing that ball through the midfield more, rather than playing out wide to the full-backs. Yes, don't get me wrong.
Said before, didn't we? I think I spoke about it before, that we don't play through balls, because I was looking at stats for passing, and we never played through balls. And I remember talking about it on Look Back in Amber previously. But we're starting to do that now, and I think it is because we've got Palmer Holder, and they're seeing the runs he's making either in the middle or out wide, and we're starting to play those balls into him.
Well, I think the midfield players we have as well help. Aaron Wildig, since about 10 games to go last season, he's become a different player. I think I don't know whether it was Coughlin giving him a run of games and a bit of confidence,
and fitness as well.
He looks phnormal. Keep him fit. He could really push us up the table.
Yeah, I think he can get a lot of assists and possibly a few goals this season as well. Yeah.
And you Bryn Morris alongside Scott Bennett, they kind of complement each other, but I think Bryn Morris is more comfortable on the ball, and it's his job to pick passes out. And
he was really good yesterday, but I gotta be honest, Scott Bennett, the last 2 games I've seen him play, he has been incredible. He just looks like he's got I don't know, he just looks like a different player. We were more used to Scott Bennett being that defensive midfielder, but he's going forward, he's playing through balls. I'm like, wow. Where's this Scott Bennett been for the last few years? But obviously he's been good. I think they've got a really good combination of Morris, Wildig, Bennett in that midfield 3. They dominated yesterday, didn't they? They played like a 4-1-3-2. and they dominated that midfield yesterday.
Can they keep it up, or do you think teams will find out how to beat
Well,
Newport County?
they will work it out eventually, but let's hope it's quite a while before they do. Yeah.
We are pleased to tell you that we got a new sponsor for Look Back in Amber, haven't we, Stephen?
We have indeed, yep.
We're proud to introduce to you our new sponsor. Drum roll, please. Newport Credit Union.
Oh.
They are the new sponsors of Look Back in Amber for the season. They are based upon Upper Dock Street. Now, before we move on just quickly, Stephen, obviously the most important thing for you to decide, never mind what cake club brownie you had on your way home yesterday. Who was your man of the match yesterday?
Good question. I think I'll give it to Will Evans for his goals as well.
Your options on Absolutely County on Twitter last night for your man of the match were Sepp Hammerholden, who for me was man of the match.
Yeah, I was going to go with Seb actually. I should go with Seb because he's got my initials, SPH.
Will Evans, Shane McLaughlin, or other, which then you can have your opinion in the comments. Will Evans won 63% of the vote.
Yeah, well, he got the 2 goals, so that's what shaded it for me over Palmer Holden.
Right here, right now. This is Newport City Radio.
On Thursday night, Stephen, we ventured over to Rodney Parade.
We did, yeah.
Which is very interesting.
We've been there quite a bit this week.
I
We
know.
might as well have parked up a tent.
Yes, indeed. Obviously, if you've been living under a rock, Thursday night at Rodney Parade, there was an open meeting for supporters to go to, like myself and Stephen, to talk about and discuss the future of Newport County. Now, over the summer and towards the end of last season, there were rumours. I'm going to call them rumours because it turns out that these aren't true. A bit of speculation that about the future of the club, that we need to raise so much money by certain dates and things like that. But Stephen, we were there on Thursday. What do you make of the situation the club's in at the moment? It is looking maybe in a month or two's time. It's looking a bit positive.
Yeah, I got to be honest. Yeah, I mean, we all knew about the financial situation of the club, and that something needed to change. So this was a big meeting, well attended as well. I've got to say, that's one of the most well attended meetings I've been to. And yeah, the main purpose basically was for the club to outline where we are at the moment. And yeah, and for me there was 3 big things really. The main points for me were the current model, trust owned, has run its course. It's not sustainable. Yeah, it's not sustainable for a League 2 club to be run that way. The best option available out of the 3 they put forward was a hybrid model. From what they said, a potential owner would want 51% of the shares, meaning that the trust would have to give up some of its shares, either on its own or with the 21% current shareholders were not part of the trust. But so the trust have got 79 at the moment. There's 21% owned by others. What they're hoping is that they give up their shares. So the trust would lose some, but then they'll be made up, I suppose. And yeah, the club needs to raise £500,000 to ease its creditors and to secure its finances for the rest of the season, because it is worrying, I suppose. I don't think it's going to happen, but if the club can't prove that they can see out the season financially, then there's only one way to go with, and that's administration. That's not going to happen. I don't want to panic anyone, but it could quite easy. We've seen it before. It happens quite a lot. And then, yeah, what I suppose the biggest thing was the club revealed 2 new investors. One's at an advanced stage, one is a little bit behind that in terms of the process. They've done an audit on the club, and the club have done due diligence on them to pass the EFL fit and proper persons test. And they're hoping that this will have a resolution in September, which means a meeting will be called for the trust. Well, probably for those potential owners to make a presentation, was what they said.
I think that would be the best way to go forward.
Absolutely, yeah. I want to see these people. I want to look them in the eyes and see what they're about.
So they can set out their plan for the club and where they see the club going, rather than just...
Yeah.
I don't know, Michael Anderson wants to invest £100,000 in Newport County over the next 10 years, for example.
Yeah. And so I think, that's the way it's going to have to be done. Then the trust will have a vote on it. What was big as well is that the new potential owners still want the trust to be active and to still contribute financially even more than what they're doing now. So there's all ways that they're going to have to look at doing that. And yeah, they said that these new owners get the club, they get that, and that's really important as well. You know, these owners need to understand the importance of this club and the community and to the fans and everything else that goes along with it. And they've also explored the idea of two potential owners working together. I'm not really sure if that will work, but you never know, do you? I mean, to me, businessmen want to be in control. And if we did have two different people, will they butt heads in the future? And then that might cause issues. So, me personally, I think I would prefer one. But as long as it secures the future of the club, I don't really mind who's in charge. And it's a long-term thing as well, not short-term. So, yeah. So, what do you think?
I agree with you there. I think it was positive. I think that they spoke really, really well.
Yeah, I thought they were really honest, really open and honest.
And there was a Q&A at the end, and no questions off the table.
Yeah.
We had some difficult questions. I'm sure, look back in Amber and our difficult questions we'd be proud of.
Yeah, Luke Lewis got in there.
I did. And yeah, they're less than 10 investors, but then when you consider that we don't have any assets, you know, that put some people off potentially, that we don't have any assets, or do people see that potentially as potential?
You can look at it two ways, isn't it? It's going to limit us in terms of who's investing, but then it's a positive in the fact that we can't get assets stripped. So, yeah, there's positives and negatives for it, I suppose.
Should we hear what all this means for County Manager Graham Coughlin?
Oh, yeah, okay.
News emerging on Thursday about talks with two interested parties about a takeover at the club. Long way to go. What have you been told? Does it affect your role or job in any way?
I wouldn't have a clue. And that's not me being ducking a question. I concentrate on the football. I concentrate on the dressing room, the bond I have with the players, the bond I have with the supporters, myself, the players and the supporters. We'll probably be the last to know. We don't want to know, really, to be quite honest. I'd rather just concentrate on football. I'm a football man. I can't change it. I can't control it. So therefore, it's out of my remit. You would probably have to ask somebody who's a higher pay grade than myself. But I'm concentrating on the players, I'm concentrating on the supporters, and we're us three together, the coaching staff, the players and the supporters. We want more days like this. Anything that goes on in the background, that's club business, not mine.
County Manager Graham Coughlin there saying that basically it doesn't affect him, which I suppose it doesn't, Stephen.
No, I think he's spot on. I think, and they kind of spoke about it. The question was asked about it, wasn't it? What effect is this having on the manager? And I think Graham Coughlin is right in the fact that his role is to he can't do nothing about it. He can't influence it. He can't change it. What would be. I mean, he can't really say anything until we know where we are, I suppose. Then he can maybe comment about it. But yeah, and it's great that he's just focusing on the football, which is what he's there for.
Smashing out the park this past.
He's having a blinder. So yeah, if there was any potential new investors at Rodney Parade yesterday and they were watching that, they'd be thinking, "Wow, man, what are we
buying into?"
Yeah, we're buying into the new Brazil. So we don't know if anybody was there, just speculating. Yeah, and I think he's right. He's just got to concentrate on the football, same as the players. I mean, obviously they're going to see it about, it's on social media. A lot of the players are on social media, so he's going to know about it. But don't think it will have a direct impact on him.
You'll remember the trust. Obviously, this meeting will come around, and yeah, hopefully, we it might be one owner. It might be two people you vote on.
Yeah, it could be a consortium.
How are they gonna? Because they said that one's at a really advanced stage and one's just a little bit behind. How's that gonna work? Because if they get two owners potentially at the same stage, how is that gonna work? Is it gonna go to the highest bidder, or is it gonna go to the? Are you guys on the trust gonna vote for it, or vote for who you want, or how would that work?
Yeah, well, I suppose, they're just going to have to put it out to the trust, and then it's up to the trust.
Or do they order the board and
I think they'll probably do all that. They'll end up with one investor or consortium of people, whatever, and then I think the trust will vote on it. I mean, it's a big moment for Newport County, bigger than what it was in 2015 when they got the club back. So I mean, this is the future of the club, isn't it? I mean, got to say, you know, the hard work that everybody has put into running that club, mostly volunteers.
Yes, that was one of the underlying messages of.
Cannot be underestimated. You know, that club has been built up and it's done so well to the last 10 years in League Two, and it's still been a trust-owned club. I mean, people have worked so hard to get that club where it is. That's why I think it's such a big moment, because a lot of people might not want to change, but I think most people see the reasons why that it's got to change. It's got to change for the club. If they want to be a sustainable football league team, they've got to change the ownership model.
Even Colin Everett, who was there, spoke really well, ex-director at the club. Yeah. He's a volunteer. He said that he's come in, offered his services voluntarily. He's that link between investors and the board, which I suppose is a good thing, because you don't want the board getting involved in that, and they've got someone who can take the day-to-day responsibility, negotiating almost, and like you say, do the due diligence and things like that. So
I thought he spoke really well, to be honest. I was impressed with him. So, new football season means new kit.
It does.
New school year means new school trips.
It does.
Newport Credit Union will get you sorted. Search online for Newport Credit Union.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
Newport City Radio.
We're almost at the end of our first look back in amber
nearly
of
there.
The season.
We're nearly there.
There's one more thing to go, though, Stephen. A couple of predictions now.
Yeah.
We go to Crewe Alexander and a certain Mickey Demetriou now coming up on Tuesday on the 15th. What's your score prediction, please?
Well, the Crewe have drawn their opening 2 matches, haven't they? But I've got a feeling that we're going to upset Mickey Demetriou and Newport are going to win 2-1.
Okay, interesting. I think that Newport County will win. I think we'll continue that momentum and that form and that consistency, hopefully. I'm going to say 2-0. And then we are away next Saturday, so a week yesterday, to Forest Green Rovers. A bit of a local derby there. Stephen, score prediction?
Yeah, I think this one's a bit more tricky, but I think I'll say a 1-1 draw.
Ooh, okay. I think we will scrape a 1-0 there. And then we return to Rodney Parade on the 26th of August, and it's our bucket collection game.
It is, yeah.
So if you're there for the Sutton game, planning to be there, and you've got any spare change, anything you want to give us, we do this completely voluntary. We do this completely for free. So give whatever you can. It's all much appreciated, and it will go a long way. Even a small donation of whatever you've got, it'll go a long way. Sutton are the opponents when we return to Rodney Parade. Stephen, what's the score going to be there?
2-0 to Newport.
Okay, 2-0. And I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go 2-0 as well. I think we have a decent record against Sutton, and I know they beat us at last season Rodney Parade, but I have a feeling that this good form of Rodney Parade is going to continue. Thank you for taking the time out today to listen to us. As always, we'd love to read your thoughts about our thoughts on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. By direct message or also an email, studio@newportcityradio.org. We'll catch you on Sunday the 27th of August at 2 p.m. as we continue to look back in amber the 23-24 season. More talking points, more banter, more top-class analysis. We'll catch you then.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now. Newport City Radio.